Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Ripley recently skipped security at an event so he could have a touching moment with a little WWE fan. The Eradicator is going to joining forces with Damon, the Priest, to fight Liv Morgan and Dominic on the Days of Judgment, when Mysterio and a different tag team faced off at Berlin hosts WWE Celebration on August. The 27-year-old made an appearance on the 31st, the weekend before last, and exuberant young wrestler fan sought to envelop her. Guards tried to stop the kid, but upon approaching, Ripley embraced and kissed. She invites you to peruse the touching below the video on Instagram. Betrayed by Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley was caught at this past month's WWE SummerSlam, assisted Liv Morgan in maintaining her Women's World Championship. In addition, Finn Balor betrayed on the premium line. Damian served as a priest, incident which diminished his global triumph in his confrontation with. Since then, Gunther and the horrific twins have got together on Raw and made a pact to defeat. Updates to Rhea's Judgment Day. The WWE Raw star was proposed by Ripley. She was known as Rhea Ripley by her mother. Not long ago revealed that Father Damon, she was advised to use the moniker Mommy on WWE Network during a one-on-one interview with Bill Apter of Sports Skeleton Wrestling. Observed by the previous champion, following Dominic Mysterio became a part of the Day of Judgment. She was attempting to acquire your puppy here. No matter what the priest had advised that she do, became known as Mommy instead, concurred with the previous World Heavyweight Champion. By the time I'm 27, I figured out who I am. Whole motherly persona. It defines me as the term Mommy may have originated with Damien Priest because I wore the rosary you gave me shirt while attempting to sprint beside anything about Poppy, and they were like, maybe not. Hey, your mama, just be yourself, he said. Seemed to understand exactly what you were doing. 116 to 135 Mama finally arrived. Rhea and Damon, the Priest. Ripley appeared on Raw last Monday night, challenging the Priest to a singles match. Mysterio battle, but the underdog group leapt to 42-year-old just before the start of the school year. Ripley attempted to save the situation, but I couldn't handle the numbers game. The verdict that towered above the environment in the jam-packed arena was palpable. Shouted with glee as the applause erupted, reverberating throughout the halls of the event. This past summer, after SummerSlam, and the fans of WWE were still giddy after the most thrilling experience they have ever experienced. People were waiting with bated breath for the appearance by the Eradicator Rhea Ripley, the pinnacle of women's fashion, most important player and champion in the last Day of Judgment. Arena lighting decreased in volume, and the distinct sound of Rhea, a musical monster in your Ripley's entryway. Aspirations crammed into the room, blew up en route to the arena. Her formidable aura dictating each gaze in the arena, while clad in her distinctive black bridal coat. Wearing her fierce style, Rhea sent out a sense of strength and assurance when she arrived. The engagement ring that Rhea couldn't ignore, a labyrinth of handmade posters and signage. As the spectators waved at each of them individually, sign caught her eye with its vibrant pink Wwe display with dazzling text that reads, "I really admire Rhea Ripley." Crowned with girl of little more than 8 years old, the signal, the officer's focus on the female suspect, sat on her, his eyes wide with awe. The back of her dad's chair, her little hands fiercely clutching the placard as if it were the greatest, priceless treasure on earth. Rhea hesitated for a while. While she stood on the ramp, she saw the youthful enthusiast. I noticed a peculiarity about the sheer delight and anticipation that pulled at her heartstrings, revealing the little child was wearing a miniature replica of her ring gear, a little jacket made of leather with black leggings with studs and a copy of the championship belt for women's sports. Draped over her back, the image produced an unusual and heartfelt look on Rhea's face. It lowered her normally icy attitude. Safety was dependent, as usual, on iconic figure. And they had begun down the path that leads Rhea to the ring that holds her. Apart from the admirers who were trying to, that they may get a glimpse of their idol. But Rhea instead intended to she halted suddenly. The security crew to come to a standstill because, well, disregarding their perplexed expression, she aimed to the youthful admirer. I want to encounter with her. Rhea spoke with conviction, yet overflowing with hospitality. The safety detail nervously contemplated whether or not to proceed. Recognizing supporters was one matter, on one hand, and on the other, to become close, particularly during a live performance, faced with the uncertainty of a real-life individual. But Rhea was refusing to tolerate a resolute stride. She responded, slipped by the guards, sped directly at the girl. Thrills swept across the audience when they learned. Going on, there were cries of encouragement, and the crowd was electric with anticipation as Rhea made it to the fan area, where she, shocked father of a little girl, with a hint of shock, lowered his daughter down to the floor when Rhea drew near them. Hey, there is a lack of competition, crumpled, Rhea muttered, low enough for the girl to hear. Her voice was mild, in sharp contrast to her combative tone in the ring. Joyful tears glistened in the girl's eyes when the sight of her champion stood before her, squarely front of her. For a little while, she was unable to articulate her shaking hands cradled the pink tattoo on her bodice. Rhea became aware of the sob. The girl stretched out and delicately wiped the tears from her eyes with her thumb. What's your name? She said. Rhea approached her, kind, compassionate tone. N.A.A. the young woman. Her voice quivered little over. Speak softly, okay, Ava. It is my humble opinion that you look really stunning. With a nod toward what the girl wore, I can see you're prepared to. The next women's. The praise was beamed by champion Ava, her elation radiating as the audience around them was still ecstatic, but Ava was the only object of Rhea's attention. They had an obvious bond, instant of unadulterated feeling in the middle of all the WWE mayhem. Cosmic forces. Are you aware of the reason I like? As Rhea proceeded, her tone remained genuine. Supporters like you, who contribute, gave me the will to persevere, despite the fact that, when times go rough, you're the genuine inspiration. The father of Ava was observing the exchange while feeling a mix of wonder and thanks so much that it was hard for him to believe she was formerly controlled by the same lady. My ring rivals were acting in such kind and tender with his daughter, an aspect of Ripley none else sees, only seldom encountered the restrained side. During times like this, Rhea extended a hand, enveloped Ava's delicate hand in hers, offering it a light pressure. You remain resilient, great, and never forget that you have the power to. Nodding, Ava said, anything you want to be, passionately, her tears having been substituted. With a radiant grin, I want to be identical to. Rhea let out a gentle laugh. You're already doll, at this very second. Lengthened as the security detail started to message that Rhea needed to move on. Informed them of this, but I wasn't prepared to. Don't go quite yet. There was still something more. Riot. Why not reach over her shoulder? Free the female-centric universe. Ava was wearing the championship belt. Next, she placed it on top of A's head, wrapping it correctly around her waist. The belt was too large, but that was the only heightened the allure of the act at that location. Way to go, dude. Smiling, Rhea said that. Ava gazed down at the belt with a sense of pride, her mouth hanging open in astonishment. She extended her hand to brush across the shiny plate. She seemed to be trying to, believing in her own mind that this was sincere appreciation. Rhea softly murmured her emotionally strained speech, leaning in Rhea and embraced Ava tenderly, whispering, "Hear a sound in her ear that is exclusive to the two." Everyone could hear it was an intimate encounter between a famous person and her fan favorite, a recollection of Ava that she